Sometimes I become so superstitious. It's pernicious of me. I learn a word from another somebody. Boy, all those bodies walking around, and you want to see the life within, the light within, and repeat and say what you mean and say what you kind if you know what it is to be alive. Those words are used for a reason, phonetically speaking. Emotional depth, I said. You're always waiting on the interruption for someone to say, as if you have some. Then you have some, and some, and some, and some, and you do the sums, and I have the parts, and the parts, and the parts. I have the parts. And sometimes those within the arts just don't seem to see it. Sometimes they know it. Sometimes you could say they blow it. And then you say, well, you could always start again. Like I said before, rebirth, live the next day, positive, positive, positive. With no negative energy. But easier said than Shakespeare. Ah, yes, he was, you could say, without a peer. He needed more esteem around all those people of his era. All the people. All through the steeples, whether buildings or bodies, back to there. Back to here, and then you could go and say, where was I? Where was I? That's right, I remember. John Keats, Blake, September, Indian summer, Tagore. Yes, what's it for? Ah, the shepherd to his love. Without the flock of what? Who knows now? Where we go, where we go, where we go. Where do we go when it's all said? Where do we know? Now then again, I missaid that. I mistook that. Ah yes, let's not interrupt. Let's not interrupt the fluidity of my thought of the past in retrospect. Greco-Roman, Roman, Greco. El Greco, stream of consciousness, yes, once again. Well, there we go. Then one of my own lines comes popping up. And then those vines within the lungs just seems to give something to the brain without rain, and you refrain from that insult and you hold it in without the pain. Dutch courage. Yes, to have courage. To have lust with the love where it never fades. And it never does. It's all in the head, they say. It's all in the psyche. And then you could say, lovely Dahlia. Lovely Dahlia can reveal many brains. And you walk through all those lanes. I saw that before you came. And all the fingers that touched. And you say something's there, something's here. Am I aware? We'll see. Enlighten. And we'll be free. Why does he talk like that? Like he's dictating a poem. While I roam, will it wither? No. What did I say before? One of my older poems. A tango waltz. There's no such thing. Is there? There we go. Something else. Hate curled its lip at love. Yes. Fits me like a glove sometimes. But then you say, let's change and repeat something. Let's metamorphosize something. Let's digress, let's digress, let's digress. And say yes. And feel that we're somewhere else. Imagination. Imagine that. When others have imagination and others don't. The imagination sends you, it sets you free. Some people say you're insane. They call you the N-word, but you're just vain, vanity. All is vanity, they say, in a book, in scripture, the script, the scribe, the scribble. And then you dribble it all down. You go through without a frown and say the time, the city. What a pity. Pity. Like a newborn babe. Yes. Refrain. Retrieve from the best. True words spoken in the quiet light sometimes. True words spoken. Unbroken. Then you sit up straight and you hope you're not late. You're not late. But Alice knew. You had to have no malice. And you roll the eyes, you feel the sighs, and you congratulate no one but yourself. What does he mean? What does he mean? I don't know, he's one of a kind. You talk to yourself. You try to, and you try this, and unwind the circle. 108, no finality, just eternal. 2 takes of the same piece. Are you your own master? Sometimes. And then you cease to go faster. You don't need to go fast, slow it down. I'm the joker, you could say. I'm the open one, the harlequin, the one who smiles, who tries his best, who does his best to be benevolent. Just like you could say, the parents. Yes, works on so many levels. When the devils cease to interrupt thy mind, thy cranium, I find fluidity, flow, ascension, and then I know who I am. Sanity, once again. I like it when I turn to the side. It's like an aside for my former self. Do I have wealth? Irrelevant questions and digestions of truth. It doesn't really matter for the person who asks the questions. No frustrations. Just keep the open-ended sentence, the open-ended paragraph. You take a photograph to remind yourself. To know yourself. Whether I'm true. Who knows? Sometimes you say, who cares? You stare under the blue sky. And you say that's why. The appreciation of the petite things. And then, and high, and the eternal why we are here. Just for fun, under the sun. And say, what a view. What a pleasant view. Sometimes looking at nothing, and you say nothing is everything. Poser, composer, with words. Yes, you could say through the introspective heart comes my art. For the new age, for the future, the way of the future.